On each episode of Around in Durango, we visit a local Durango business and talk with a special guest about what's happening in this great town of ours.
Today we're talking with owners Crowl and James Allred of Eolus Bar and Dining.
Great to see you. Thanks for being here.
We'll also be talking with Maura, Doherty, Demko of SASO, Sexual Assault Services Organization, about how they are helping others in our community. Thank you so much for sitting down today with us. You're coming up on 5 years as the Eolus, and tell us a little bit about how this came to be.
How do you pronounce it?
We pronounce it Eolus.
Yeah.
There's a few different ways to pronounce it.
People say Eolus,
Yeah,
right?
people from Silverton usually pronounce it Eolus.
Yeah.
We named it Eolus after Mount Eolus, 14,083 feet in Chicago Basin, 23 miles northeast of here. That mountain was named after Eolus, the Greek god of the winds. So, we tried to go with a slightly more phonetical pronunciation.
I think the Greek god thing fits really well with you two, honestly. So.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Because we're full of wind.
Yeah, I wasn't going there, but, that's awesome.
Such complementary skill sets. James, you're the front of the house. You make all the kitchen creations happen. Tell us about how you guys collaborate on everything else.
The front of the house is my domain, so to speak, and so I'm responsible for the service and people's experiences and trying to meet their expectations when they come in.
James is, one of the best people I've ever worked with, and we work really well together. It's been a number of years now, gotten to know each other well, and, we sit down and have dinner together at the bar at the end of the night and, talk about the evening, and, that's when we start to kind of talk about I'll be talking about menu ideas or, features and talking about, some wines to pair with it or wines to use when I'm making the sauces, things like that, or trying to chat about it and see what we can do to, keep the blade sharp and, do it to it every day.
You've done so many amazing events. You've auctioned yourself off for
yes.
with Sexual Assault Services.
That was a great night of your house.
And then the other thing that you've really done is being involved with all the chef showcase dinners and collaborating so much in the community. And I think that speaks volumes to what you do as your ethos and giving back to the community.
Is there anything on the menu that is the most popular item that people order the most?
That James Ranch burger that we do is obviously a big hit, especially with, fantastic.
The lobster on top?
That one's certainly.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that one's certainly.
Yeah, that is way over the top.
A fun one. I've had a gentleman coming in last winter. He started coming in, and he is telling everyone in Denver about it. I happened to see him out at the bar when he was eating, and chatted with him a bit and talked to him about the lobster butter jacuzzi that we cooked the lobster tails in for the surf and turf and the lobster burger. That's a little jacuzzi back there. It's lobster butter, and they just go in there. They get all comfortable, hang out for
that's nice
about 5 minutes.
Last bath.
125 degrees or so in that butter, and they just get nice.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
That's really been a game changer. You know how when you're out on a hike or a bike ride or something, you start to fantasize about burgers? And it's always, for me, it's always a cheeseburger. But now, after I had that lobster burger, now it's the lobster cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really a game changer on the trail.
It really gets
I ride
that pep in his
harder,
step to get back.
I run faster, I hike faster, all of that to get back here. And eat that.
Performance fuel,
do
I like
it.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what you guys do.
Yeah.
It's well-rounded. It really is.
It's true.
So are we going to get to drink something today? Are you guys going to serve us?
So I'm going to go mix up a couple cocktails for us.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Thai Tini. It's one of our classics that we like to feature for happy hour. It's actually Chris's recipe that he came up with. We've tweaked a little bit over the years, but we use Spring 44 vodka. It's out of Loveland. And then we infuse that with some kaffir lime leaves and lemongrass. And then that's finished off with a little ginger liqueur and a little fresh lime juice and yuzu.
Thanks to James.
Cheers.
Oh, that's still lovely. So Maura, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us about sexual assault. I know it's something that's not always great and comfortable for people to talk about, but I know when I was in college, I volunteered on a rape crisis hotline, and I know the statistic that we've talked about is, I know 1 in 4 women are victims of sexual assault, and I was also surprised to hear the statistic with men. It's 1 out of 17.
1 in 17.
Well, it definitely is something that was near and dear to my heart. And when Chris and I met, he had been on the board for Sexual Assault Services. I know was on the board.
That's how Maura and I met. Maura became the executive director while I was on the board. I mean, it's not just counseling for victims, it's a number of other things. Tell us about that.
We started out doing victim advocacy in the 24-hour crisis hotline and responding to people when they actually experienced assault, going to the hospital, answering the phone, going to the police station, and then following a case all the way through court if it gets picked up. But we also provide free support groups and free counseling for somebody who doesn't have insurance or other means to pay for it, because we don't want that to be a barrier for healing. We also are doing healthy relationships, communication, gender norming, how to be a positive bystander for middle school, high school, and college students. And we also do our CAP program, which is the cutest thing in the world. It's all for K through 5. And we teach kids to be safe, strong, and free through role plays in the classroom.
How long ago was it that we met? I can't remember how long it has
6
been.
years ago.
6 years ago. Wow.
Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh, you must be sick of me.
No, actually. No. You being on the board was such an asset for me walking in,
I thought you
because
were just going to finish that with the first part of that word, but
I
yeah.
did not say that.
Okay. I really enjoyed being on that board. Actually, I missed it. It was term limited. That's why I had to get off the board, and we got to do some really neat events for the organization. Tell us about the Chef Showcase event, because that's your signature event, right?
It's this beautiful collaboration where we have multiple restaurants. It takes a huge commitment from these guys, but it's so cool to see them get creative together. And then we have 122 people come together. Everything for the event is donated.
It's truly one of the neatest events I've ever been to in my life. And now that it's had 10 years of a legacy of a great fundraiser for SASO, I'm really proud of being part of that in the beginning, but you've taken it to a level I don't think we ever imagined it going to, honestly. So if someone wanted to do that and be a volunteer in the organization, how do they go about doing that?
Easiest way is we have a website, www.durangosaso.org, and there's a volunteer application, and just to fax or email that into us. And then we go through a vetting process and
See kind of what the best fit is, whether it's a hotline or actually being there for someone as an in-person advocate.
Is that the place, that website, the place that people would find out about these events as well? And they can make a donation to the organization in case they wanted to do that? Also, fantastic. Cheers to you guys and everything you're doing in the community again.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yep.
And cheers to both of you for all that you give back to all of us. We couldn't do it without your support.
That is awesome. I can't believe I've come this far without ever having that.
Just think about what the next half
So
of your life
good.
is going to be
My
like now that
goodness.
you know this exists.
I had no idea. Thank you again for joining us and having a round here at Eolus. It's been a pleasure talking with Maura, Chris, and James. We're excited to be able to share what they are doing in Durango.
Chris and I have a passion for Durango and all the local organizations that help make it such a special place. We'd love to share that passion with you and hopefully inspire you to get out and get involved in our community and have as many rounds as possible around town.
We'll see you next time for another Around in Durango.